My friends, so we're going to be working on the first portion of our myofascial series. We're going to be working on here up, doing different myofascial stretches to rehydrate your fascia, your interstitium, and really have long-lasting releases and really just open yourself up in a way that conventional stretching and therapies won't be able to do without addressing the fascia. So if you want to learn more about myofascial health as well as spinal health, continue on with the video. I'm in an interview where I explain it really well. And if you want to get down to the nitty gritty, just go to this time over here in the video and let's get to it.
Yeah, so fascial health. Only about 2 years ago did the medical community acknowledge fascia as an organ in our body. The medical community termed it as the interstitium. It's funny how they think they discovered it because ipso facto, the Chinese discovered it. So I just think that's kind of hilarious. So they got something right for quite a while. In fact, if you've heard of gua sha, they used gua sha techniques in the past, just getting a dull spoon and just scraping.
Yeah.
Fascia. They wouldn't even work on muscles.
So sorry to interrupt. Is that similar to what you see a lot? Is that scraping technique? Is that also, I've seen that being done.
It's a little different. It's a little different, but there's big similarities.
Okay.
I personally don't use it myself, but it's one of the ways.
Yeah.
So in terms of muscle, so we live in a very muscle-centric society, and we also live in a society where we came from bodybuilding in terms of working out. And so there's a lot of isolation. And I think, as you know, with the trainer and what I saw from your last interview is that the more you get into muscle groups, the better. The more you get into, the more you isolate, it causes muscle imbalance. Another thing is that a lot of people think muscle release is what we should do, but the fascia actually dictates how tight your muscles are. So when people say, I'm going to do myofascial release, there's another thing that people don't realize is when you're doing myofascial release, you're not releasing fascia. You're actually rehydrating dehydrated fascia, which is the covering of your body. So we are suffering from dehydration of our fascia. That's literally what's going on, fascia does nutrient transport. It helps with your immunity. It helps you connect with your central nervous system. There's a lot of psychological aspects. So, the science is still out on this, but they're discovering more and more that fascia really dictates a lot of things that go on in the body. In fact, they found out that thicker aspects of fascia in the body correlate with meridian lines in acupuncture, which was super
Really?
cool. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So the first myofascial chain that we're going to start hydrating is, it runs from this hand all the way down to the opposite leg, this hand all the way down to the opposite leg, and this kinetic chain helps movements like walking, very natural movements, kind of like that. So usually with muscles, we have anchors. So the biceps connects from here to here. You create a stretch, you got the stretch. With fascia or the interstitium, it's an envelope. It covers your whole body in fluid. And this fluid, if it's hydrated, it basically dictates how tight or loose the muscle is going to be. So it's very important to allow that intelligence to thrive and rehydrate your fascial system. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to create muscular locks, okay? So I'm just going to go down on the floor, just like this, right? And I'm going to bring one arm up, like this, okay? So I have my one arm here, and it's at not this angle, but this angle, okay? Then I'm going to bring both my legs up, and then I'm going to evert my feet. They're going to go sideways, kind of like frog legs. Now I've created one fascial lock and another anchor over here. I'm going to flex my hand, I'm going to spread my fingers, and then I'm going to push my arm forward. My palms are moving forward, and my fingers are moving backwards. Then I just place this hand over here. Now if you can move down towards my shoulder, I'm going to lift up my shoulder till I feel a gentle stretch in my chest. And this is where the stretching comes in. From here on in, all you got to do is breathe. So if you move down to my right hand, just move down to my right hand, okay? I'm going to push my palm forward, and I'm going to keep a resting tension of having my palm forward gently. Let's say a 2 out of 10 tension, and I'm going to let my breathing do the rest. So my palm is forward, my fingers are back and spread, and I breathe. And you'll notice my palm moving forward ever so slightly as my fascia rehydrates. Now you notice, if you look at my legs, they're nice and locked so that I can create that tension that rehydrates that fascia. Now you do this, say, 10 to 20 breaths, and then very gently let off. And then just try the other arm. That's good. Okay, so I just did a myofascial stretch of this kinetic chain, and I left this one alone to show the big differences. Now, before I show you the differences, I want to tell you that this myofascial stretch is probably the most important myofascial stretch you can do for one reason. When you're starting to move and do everything all day, right, your chest is one of the #1 muscles that's always active. So it's very easy for you to dehydrate this area. A lot of people, they'll start doing conventional chest stretches, but unfortunately, because the fascia is dehydrated, the muscle just bounces back in no time, keeping this forward posture. Now, if you checked out the previous clip where I was being interviewed by Darcy Coss, I start talking about how the chest, the forward tension and the dehydration of the fascia of the chest move the shoulders forward, and when the shoulders are forward, it causes neck tension. For every inch your shoulders are forward, that's an extra 20 pounds of weight on your back and your low back and your neck. So if I go like this, you can even try. It's really tough to move your head up, and also your head tilts up, which also creates spinal fluid impingements as well as headaches and just a whole number of things. So when you have your chest open and hydrated, your chest is back, and it creates a nice seat, a nice chair for your head to rest in. So just for results, I didn't do this side, and I did this side, and so just letting it hang. And how much would you say, how many inches is it down? Like 2 inches? Yeah? So I'd say it's about 2 inches down, and it just really just drops the whole entire shoulder, and the whole area becomes very hydrated. So here's the results. Try it for yourself, and in the comments, tell me how it worked out for you. I could pretty much guarantee that it's going to take away a lot of tension from the upper body and not cause more undue stress than needed. So enjoy.